Hello everyone and warm welcome to the Imagine Live Studio from Ericsson at LEAP 2023. Thank you all for joining our session today. It's a session around a very important topic that is very close to my heart and I'm sure to all your hearts. Today we are discussing women in leadership and the journey for women to excel in the workplace. And of course, this journey brings along many opportunities, but also challenges. We can see already worldwide, women are shining across many sectors and taking executive positions. But also, there has been a development in the information communication technology sector, the ICT sector. However, we still have a long way to go. In the private sector, just 7% of CEOs leading the world's 500 major corporations are women. Although this number has increased from 6%, this has increased from 6% to 4% to 7% in the past 5 years. Here in the GCC, women make up 62% of the GCC population, but only 12% of senior executive roles. To address this very important topic that is also at the heart, if I move to Saudi Arabia and to Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030, we can see in such a short time, in the past 2 years, amazing leapfrog, I would say, increase in the participation of female leaders or female talents in the workplace. And it is also contributing to the prosperity of the country. And of course, it is becoming a critical element ahead of the fourth industrial revolution, which is becoming a reality in Saudi Arabia. To address this very important topic, I am really honored to welcome here from the Ericsson booth, as I mentioned, some of the most inspirational women leaders in their own sector and as our partners. Let me start by welcoming Dr. Najwa Al-Ghamidi, Analytics Core Director at STC. Dr. Najwa has over 16 years of experience in developing and leading IT projects specialized in data and AI. Warm welcome, Dr. Najwa. Al-Hanouf Al-Yahya, Director of Revenue Management Applications at Mobily. Al-Hanouf has more than 10 years of experience and is one of the remarkable professionals in the ICT sector. Warm welcome, Al-Hanouf.
Thank you.
Dr. Hassa Al-Kouei, Head of Service Delivery at Ericsson Saudi Arabia. Dr. Hassa was the first Saudi woman to get a PhD in wireless communication. So warm welcome. Let's give them, please, a big hand. So the journey along, of course, opportunities and challenges. If I start with you, Najwa, tell us a bit about your journey. What are the opportunities that you faced, but also if you can tell us a little bit about the challenges to inspire the talent women who are watching us here.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for having me today here. It's a great honor to be across this great panelist as well as this great crowd. Well, starting with the journey, I actually graduated with a degree of computer science from King Saud University back in 2005. At that time, very few opportunities for ladies or women, especially in tech. So I started working as a volunteer in the university as a teaching assistant. Afterwards, I was offered to be a system analyst in a small company in IT. Then I was back offered with a permanent job at the King Saud University as an assistant professor again. So I had to choose it for 2 reasons. First of all, job security. And again, I was inspired by all the role models I've seen throughout my study, so I wanted to be like them. So throughout this journey, I had the chance as well to establish a startup, a co-found a startup in 2009. And this startup is specialized in health tech. I developed a software that helped the cochlear implant children who receive this sort of implants to rehabilitate them. So this is another challenge because the ecosystem of entrepreneurship in the Saudi Arabia, especially in the tech entrepreneurship, was still, it's not really well established. It's not that mature. So I had to go through a lot of obstacles and hustle until by 2020, we had to end this company and donate the whole solutions to local hospitals. However, a great milestone happened when the announcement of the Vision 2030, as you know. So in 2020, I established a platform that's called Mandur for Science Communication with the aim to democratize knowledge around the research and computer science. Afterwards, we had more opportunities. We were blessed as women to have opportunities in different areas that we don't have it before. So I joined STC as a data science lead, and now I'm promoted to analytics core director, building a portfolio of AI assets to STC to be productionized and used internally and externally. So a lot of obstacles, but a lot of interesting challenges and a lot of opportunities, alhamdulillah.
Many marks, I would say. Many milestones achieved.
Exactly, yes.
Congratulations for that.
Thanks so much.
If I turn to you, Hanouf, we heard from Najwa, many opportunities, she got to experience in her way. For you, how can women still, in a male-dominated, I would say, industry such as the ICT sector, but still shine and make it through?
I believe a lot of women focus on doing their job perfectly, and unfortunately, in a challenging environment, that is not enough. I believe female has to focus on having an open communication with their teammates and management within the organization, where they can easily give feedback and receive feedback. This will give them more insight of what's going on and make sure that they can proceed further with their career. Another thing as well, I think they can focus on building relationship across their organization. They work with different departments every day, and I think a very important factor is to build a good relationship with those people. And an easy way to build that is by sharing your knowledge. You work with different departments. Sometimes they're not aware of how a certain thing is going. You can ask them if they need more details or anything that you can share their knowledge. I think if you focus on these two things along with doing your job to the best of your ability, I believe these two can lead you to success.
Absolutely, I can't agree more. In adding to the same, from where Hanouf stopped, building the career growth. Of course, always we like to talk about opportunities, right? But there are some challenges that we are facing as females. What can you share with us, Hassa?
Thank you for this question, Fida. When I joined the industry and when I started working in the ICT sector, the challenge was really for me the low participation of female in the workspace. Being the only female in meetings in some buildings, that was challenging. That actually pushes me to get out of my comfort zone, to get out of the society comfort zone and to continue. With the support of the people I worked with, to be honest, and also with the supportive Vision 2030, this challenge does not exist anymore. I see more females are joining, we are really honored and proud to be part of the sector with a supportive vision.
Very good. Very good. Now, if we move, to the key elements that enable the participation, we talk always about, and in my view also, it's very important, the collaboration between the public and private sector. If I go to you, Hanouf, this collaboration will enable, and we saw many good best practices, I would say, of enabling women in leadership position. How do you evaluate from your perspective the overall progress?
If I look at my journey, I was starting in 2012. I was only part of 10 females in Ericsson KSA, and we were representing less than 1% of the organization. And we were serving even clients where they did not have any females in their IT department. And a lot of calculated steps has been done, enforcing graduate programs with 50% of females, having female quota within organization. And now you can see that a lot of females are an integral part of any organization. And I'm very optimistic for the future, considering that Saudi has a track record when it comes to enforcing localization for leadership position. They already have the tools and the learning from that experience. So I believe it's a matter of time, and we will even see more females in the leadership position.
Absolutely, and if you just go to Vision 2030, KSA Vision 2030 website, and you click on the achievements so far, you can see many remarkable and factual based numbers on the website in this area. If I go back to you, Hessa, of course, you know, this public-private collaboration is increasing the female participation. But what can we do more to excite female leaders to join this sector?
I think it's the organization contribution to that. I take it from three angles, Fida. One is that to increase the awareness about female leaders, female role model in the ICT sector, like what we are doing right now. Second, also to raise the awareness about the skill set to lead and to strive leadership in ICT, which is not very easy. The third direction is share best practices from other nations. Because in Saudi, yes, we are taking this journey, but other nations, other countries, they already come across this challenge, and it's good to share the best practices and lesson learned and see how we can apply it here.
Absolutely, can't agree more. Najwa, on the same topic, one of the concrete examples that also Hessa mentioned, when institutions or organizations set clear targets, you know, 30% of the executive leadership, for example, need to be women. What do you think of these clear, you know, targets? Do they work in your view?
To be honest, in order to enable women and empower them more, there are many steps that need to be taken. This one could be one just minor step. However, there are a lot to be offered, a lot to be changed. Going back to the first step, that there should be a clear belief that women will make a great contribution when they are becoming a leader. Let's remember that women, they always bring to the table the society with them. They are equally talented, they are equally having the abilities to create decisions, they are equally have the expertise, but what they could add more, that they are more cautious to the human elements when they make decisions.
Yes.
So they do have that different perspectives.
Exactly.
So they have to believe that this is important. It's not just a quota that we need to fulfill. And also to implement other steps, as what my colleagues mentioned, by having more initiatives, more training, more mentoring. All of these will create that ecosystem that will enable women leadership big time.
Absolutely.
And honestly, without the belief from the management, without the belief from the leadership, and that's what we have touched by the Vision 2030, in which women enablement was a core or a key component and element within the plan itself.
Absolutely.
And you know, the plan is to actually activate the digital economy, and part of this, that to increase the participation of women in this economy. And we have seen the impact when the management has enabled this. The numbers have increased from 7% to 33% penetration in the market when we speak about
Wow.
women.
Wow.
And that's compared with the global figures. In America, it's still 23%, while in Europe, 17%. All these numbers actually was mentioned by
the minister.
Yes,
Yeah,
Abdullah
State.
Swaha two days ago, and that's really amazing.
Yes.
So whenever there is a belief, there is an empowerment.
Absolutely, can't agree more. Whenever there is a belief, there is an empowerment. Whenever there is a mindset. But then if I stop at the initiatives that you have mentioned, or some of those initiatives, I know that in STC, in Mobily, and in Ericsson, we have many initiatives. In Ericsson, we have the diversity and inclusion, which encounters many initiatives, and I know also in STC and Mobile. If I go to you, Hessa, what can you share? Maybe some of the personal initiatives or activities that you took on to help empower women.
It's not mainly personal, it's more of how I contribute to the established programs that we have in Ericsson. So I can touch on two programs. One is the Fresh Graduate Program, started in 2018. I worked closely with Fresh Graduate, and I would like to highlight, I would like to empower the youth, not only the females. Youth is very important. So I work closely with them to keep an open channel so they can share their feedback, share their concerns and advice, and I can advise them from a career perspective. And I'm very happy right now that most of the fresh graduates that we have, either they are leading demos here or even having customer meetings, which I'm very proud of them. The second initiative which I did in my department, where I manage many project managers and program directors. Last year, for example, we opened 3 positions, rotations, for project managers, and we enrolled 3 of the fresh graduates for them to be engaged with the team, for them to engage with customer. And they did great. And after the 6 months, when they are doing great, we see that they have the potential, they are passionate. We hired them, and now they are taking lead roles and delivering a project by their own. So these are, I'm very, very proud of them.
Indeed. I join you in the pride feeling. Najwa, I know that STC has initiated many initiatives in the past few years. Can you share with us some inspirational initiatives?
Absolutely. I think STC is one of the leading companies when it comes to enabling women big time. For example, there are 3,000 female employees in STC. 10 are in executive positions. There are many training programs that are specialized to enable women leadership, as well as to empower them big time when it comes to management, technical specialties, and so on. And recently there is a women council that's been actually established and chaired by our group CEO. And this is a major steps towards empowering a woman and giving them more opportunities to explore. And I see there is a huge belief in our management when it comes to the impact that female could create when they are reaching to the management level. So all of these, I'm sure that over time, all the numbers I've mentioned will be increased drastically, and we will witness a major impact, inshallah.
Fantastic. I'm sure equally in Mobily you have also a set of initiatives. Maybe if you can share with us as well to inspire, the industry with some of those initiatives. And in your perspective, how are these initiatives inspiring and attracting women?
I believe in Mobily as well we have a graduate program where we have females, and we have increased the number of females in the couple of years, and I think always focusing on the youth, making sure that they're an integral part of this organization, will always achieve the results.
Do you think it is really inspiring women, female leaders, these initiatives? Is it the way to attract women leaders? I mean, we are seeing, as Hassa mentioned, and you mentioned, really, how young talents are really wanting to contribute, and they have this passion.
I believe they should focus on measuring the engagement of females, along with hiring the females. If you have a clear measure of female engagement within the organization, I think you can attract more females and even retain them.
Absolutely. One of the tools that many organizations, follow is mentorship. We see sometimes mentorship work, sometimes it doesn't work. If we stop at one of those, initiatives, which is mentorship, Najwa, in your perspective, or maybe personally, did you have mentors in your career?
I strongly believe I wouldn't be here without having really good mentors throughout my life. However, the mentors I have, they were not mentors by name. They are those people in my life who contributed and created these landmarks. Starting with families, my father, for example, my PhD supervisor, my university professors, my colleagues. So everyone who actually helped to contribute in creating an impact and give me an advice that helped me in my career, I count them a mentor. I personally have a portfolio of diverse mentors you could imagine. I don't believe on the stereotype that mentor need to be someone who's old and have a long experience. They could be even a member in my team. Everyone who know a certain domain or a niche domain, they will help. But I would strongly advise young women to have that diversity in mentorship and include male and female mentors. Female, they would contribute big time to elaborate on the obstacles that we usually face. However, male, they could help you to figure out workarounds on how to handle and navigate through these obstacles.
Absolutely. Hassa, in your perspective, mentorship, as Najwa mentioned, can be in different, and should be diversified. But what are the key ingredients to make mentorship work, in your perspective?
Mentorship is crucial, and I share this with Dr. Najwa. I have mentors, and I mentored some people as well. By having a mentor by your side, I can always يعني, share the challenges I have, get advices how to tackle them, how to overcome the challenges. I can get feedback about my performance, how to do things better, and also building a network, professional network, which is very, very important by having mentors.
Absolutely. Hanouf, in your, to complement, I would say the mentorship, how do you select a mentor? What can you advise the talents? How do they go and select mentors?
I think they can look around them. When you first start working at any organization, you have some certain people you are working with on a daily basis. Look around you, see who are the people around you, and ask them for advice. I would advise the ladies to ask for advice. Ask them about the challenge you're facing, ask about how you can learn about certain thing, how you can join a certain project, and have consistent conversation with this mentor, as well as follow up on what you have agreed on. I think it's very important to follow up on what you have agreed on eventually, and this way you can have constant support, inshallah.
Absolutely. It's about structured type of mentorship. Really great. I want to, some people told me maybe you shouldn't highlight this, but I really like to, put it on which is work-life balance. Because sometimes when we discuss, women in the workplace, yes, women maybe they will struggle to balance between family support, building their families, taking care of their kids, and at the same time, excel in the career place. Can I ask you, from your personal experience, what would you advise the young talent female of this country from having this maybe I can start. I am a mother of 3 children, and I started my career early on. I started my career here in Saudi Arabia in 1995, and I look where I am today. I have excelled. I have reached the executive position here in the country, and the journey is still on. My children, I have 2 engineers in my 2 girls engineers, communication engineers. I'm super proud of them. And one, of course, the boy I should mention as well. He's in grade 11. So yes, it wasn't an easy journey, but it was worth every single day of it. So in your perspective, what can you share with us? Maybe we start with you, Najwa.
MashaAllah, Allah khalilki ya Rabbi.
Islam.
So I'm also a mother of 2, so I could relate big time. Honestly, I would like to stress that I do believe personally that there is no work-life balance. Yani, even if you try to do it, it's quite difficult to do it. And the reason for that, what I think is the career, and I assume everyone in this room, the career is the top value in their value system. So the career mainly is your life. You spend most of your time in the office. So what I would advise that, especially for female, is to have a good support system, especially if you are a caregiver. For example, from your husband, your parents, your sisters, etc., and a very good group of friends who could you vent out to them, and also to actually share experience with them, because they will make you survive. Take a very good quality breaks where you could really split between work and life, and try to embed well-being activities in your daily routine. I think this is the only workaround.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fully agree. What about you, Lanu?
I think what we should highlight on is prioritization.
Yes.
Knowing what task you have to take home if you don't finish at work is very important. At the start of the day, you should need to know what you have to take home, and you focus on that. And another thing, you have high and low days. The time you have less work, I think you will have more energy after work, and you can focus on having more social activity where you will have much more energy during that time.
Absolutely.
It's a difficult topic because I don't know if it exists, but we are trying.
Exactly.
So at the start of my career, it was overwhelming. I couldn't know how to do it. But I think with practice, with time, I was able to find that balance. I started to do some tips. Maybe they mentioned some of them. To have a dedicated time for my family and my loved ones without interruption. To have something of hobbies, practicing stress relief activities after work. And lastly is to break the thought process, because maybe sometimes females after the work, we keep thinking about work. I try sometimes to break that I don't think about work anymore. So these small things, I think it creates a huge impact, and I'm learning how to do this balance.
Absolutely, absolutely. We are learning every day on how
Yes.
to practice it. Very good. We will open for Q&A. I think we have 10 minutes for Q&A, but before, I'd like to conclude with one question. It's a bit of a difficult question. If we go back in time and you meet your young self, what would you tell her? We start with you, Najwa.
It's a very tough question, but if I want to pinpoint one thing is that I'm so grateful that you try all possible opportunities, even when there was lack of opportunities. You've tried to be an entrepreneur, you've tried to be an academic, you tried to work in the industry, and that's really helped you now to reach to the level that you are here, because you always bring something different to the table. So I'm grateful for that.
Absolutely. Alhamdulillah. Hanouf?
I would say that I'm proud of keep doing what you're doing, keep consistent and persevere, and your perseverance has reached you where you want to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hassa, what
I
would you tell
say
her?
to stay and continue being curious, but be patient, because sometimes I like things to be immediately happening.
Be patient.
Patient, yes.
Absolutely. Very good.
What about you?
Oh. I would tell her, keep your passion and everything will be fine. This is very good. So maybe we open for some questions from the floor. And come on, we want to start with you females, so with the ladies. Ladies first. طب خلاص, we will change the rule.
So male
Because of this session, we will start with men's first.
male dictator Alaa Al-Malki, CTO of Mobily.
Warm welcome.
So thank you very much, Ericsson, for this brilliant event. Actually, very smart and was very enjoyed by moderator and everyone. It's not a question, so it's a statement. Hanouf is leading the female in Mobily from a passionate perspective. So proud working with her, and I'm sure we have given her a lot of assignment. Last week we were having a female workshop in Mobily, and we have a lot of long road to work on, and depending on you, inshallah, Hanouf, to move it. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Make up.
We will make it happen.
First of all, thank you very much about this. I mean, I'm so amazed and I'm so inspired by all of you. Who is the role model? I mean, I can ask anyone. I would love to hear from you. Who is your role model in the world or in the Arab world?
That's a good question. Maybe we can.
Okay.
Maybe we start with you, Hassa. Who is the woman leader who inspired, or maybe I don't know. No, let's stay with women. Leader who inspired you.
I have my. I would say my mom. She did not had a chance to go to college and get a degree, but she make everything easy for me to pursue, and she pushes me a lot. Not in a very hard time, but in very smooth and encouraging way. So I'm very, very grateful for her.
Okay. Hanouf.
I think my belief in role model is a little bit different. I don't have someone specific like where I look up. I like to take bits here and there. In my career, I've met a lot of people who are. I admire their persistence through work. And my family has been a great support for me throughout the year. They give me all the support.
Very good. Najwa, what about you?
I totally agree with Hanouf. I believe I'm blessed for having many role models. One of them is sitting here, Fuzan Mahan. She's a role model in women empowerment. So I'm so happy to have these. But if I would like to mention an international figure, I would say Margaret Thatcher. I'm sure you watched The Crown, so you know what I mean. How much she's an iron lady, and she's very persistent, and so she could give you a lot of lessons on how to survive and sustain.
Absolutely. Yeah. One more question. Now we have many questions. Okay, we start from there and then we move to the, yeah.
Hi, I am Farida. I am from Azerbaijan, and it's my first time in Saudi. I had super high stereotypes in my head about Saudi women, if be honest. But I'm super shocked and super surprised how you empowered, and I'm super inspired by you actually. And my question is, how difficult for foreigner women to come and to be in your community, and how you're open? Because as I know in past, I mean, a community was a little bit closed for people from outside, but I see that everything is changing, and I want to know. I do my company in Azerbaijan, and I'm thinking about to expansion and have a partner here, because I will be like super happy to work with Saudi women actually. So how is it difficult, and have I have a chance? I mean, or not?
Would you like to address to any of the ladies here?
Like who wants to answer? Actually?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Hanouf.
Okay, I will answer this question. I believe as a society in Saudi, we have worked with a lot of foreigners. And I think it's quite open, considering that we have worked for many years. Like even in most organizations, like Saudis are maybe at 50% or even more, especially in international companies. So I don't think you will face any challenges. It's some struggle to adjust to the culture and such on, but I don't believe that there is, because there are a huge community of non-Saudis that we work on daily.
If I may add to what Hanouf mentioned, I think I'm reflecting on my experience from SSC, where we have a very inclusive culture. So in SSC, usually there is no difference between employees there. What matters is your experience. We are blessed to have a lot of foreigners, colleagues, female colleagues, who are adding a lot to the team with their expertise. So I think what matters is that your expertise, your track of work, and absolutely you are welcome. And I'm sure that you will enjoy staying here in Saudi with all the changes they have, with all the events, with all the exciting sites that you would visit. So it will be very easier for you. Now, even more than before.
Absolutely. More questions?
Yes, over here.
Yeah,
First of all, thank you so much for the great session. We enjoyed every bit of it. And my question is targeted to all of you, even you, Fida, please. So what advice would you give to young females entering the ICT industry specifically?
Maybe you start here.
To capture the opportunities and be patient. The opportunities is there. As Al-Hanouf said and Dr. Najwa, things are changing, especially for females in the ICT. So I would really encourage the youth to take opportunities.
Absolutely. Anything you'd like to add, ladies?
Perseverance.
Perseverance, absolutely.
It's very important. You will fight some hiccups, but keep consistent.
Keep going.
And you will reach results, inshallah.
So, Najwa?
I would suggest to build a network of colleagues, be it male and female together. There is a research that suggests that women and male and female are equally good at decision making. However, women are very dependent on their network because they seek experience, they seek input from their networks. So network is important, not just for you to grow, even when you become in a leading position.
Absolutely. And I may add maybe upskill yourself. Upskilling is very important in the ICT sector. So you always stay ahead of the curve. Very good. More questions? Maha.
Thank you for making this positive vibe today for LEAP conference. I would love to share my proudness of Dr. Najwa. She's one of the star leaders, female in STC, not in her sector, only as a group level. I'm very proud of Hanouf, even she's from competitor, but I'm really proud of her. And I extend my proudness to Dr. Hissa. I work with her in many initiatives and she's always great. I just want to say that Fida and Dr. Najwa and Hanouf and Dr. Hissa, you are the future.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Excellent. I think we can conclude with that. Thank you, first of all, to you all. And I want to really congratulate you. You make us all super, super proud. Let me conclude by saying that pushing for change is never easy. But I believe that determination and perseverance, taking incremental steps along the journey will be the key to success. I want to quote one of the most inspirational women leaders for me as well, Michelle Obama, when she said, "Don't reach for normal, reach for the better." And I add to that, always remember, the sky is the limit. So keep going, ladies. Thank you.
It was an amazing session that we have today, talking about an important topic that is relating to the ICT leadership by women. That sort of talks are very much important. It's helped to create that sort of culture that will support women across the kingdom. We are so glad to have this from SCC with our great partner Ericsson, where we both share the importance of this topic and trying to activate this within our own organization, as well as trying to spread this culture across the kingdom to enable more and more. Then this is in resonation to the general strategic plan, the 2030 vision, in which the women-female participation in that sort of digital economy is a key and core component in this economy. So thank you so much for having me today, and thank you for the moderator as well as the great panelists that were with us today.
I think it was a great session. Participation was great. I met a lot of young females. They were very inspired, alhamdulillah. And we saw the support of all leadership within Mobily and STC. All top management was there. So it was great. I think these kind of things are very supportive for females and inspiring. Thank you.
I would like to thank Ericsson for this panel, also Fida for moderating, selecting the topic at this venue and at this occasion. I enjoyed the discussion, the question, also I enjoyed it with the other panelists. So thank you so much. These kind of activities are very important to inspire others and to encourage also ladies to join the ICT sector.